We start now. We are all ready.
Yes, Dr. Tariq, we have
Thank you.
attendees joining in.
Thank you. Okay, if you can all were set, we'll start now. Hello and welcome everyone for our Global Childhood Academy series of webinars. This is our third series of webinars, and today we have a special guest, Dr. Ayelet, who is specialized in child protections. She has a very innovative programs that she's going to share with us. But before we go into that, I'd like to start with a video from the founders to be shared with everyone. Could you start the video, please, team? Thank you.
According to the
Can you hear the video audio?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, you can start.
World Economic Forum, investment in upskilling could boost global GDP by $6.5 trillion by 2030. Now, thinking about some of the adults and professionals caring for children, 85 million teachers need upskilling, 2 billion moms. And when we create ecosystems to upskill these people, we will have a massive generational effect that will have a direct impact on the quality of children's lives. But here's the problem. We can't do this alone. To meet the need for upskilling, solutions will have to be developed at a global level. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, and no one organization can do this alone. It will require strong collaboration with a range of stakeholders, educators, NGOs, government, and business leaders working together, each playing a role. Because on one hand, there's too much wastage of resources, overlap of activities, and repetition of programs. And on the other hand, digital skills gap is growing at such a speed, it's making it difficult for training providers to keep up. Let's face it, as an organization or a training provider, at one point, you were probably spending more on marketing, ads, and communication than you were on your core area, program development. Or you might have been stuck trying to figure out what SCORM files are. GCA is the first platform where we created an infrastructure that we effectively share data, resources, and tools with our training providers. And then we lean on each other to provide impact, to upskill some of the most important people, the people who care for, educate, and protect kids. Thank you for considering to be part of the GCA Global Hub.
Thank you. That was Dr. Samia Kazi, who is the founder of GCA. And I hope that she shared a brief explanation why GCA exists. In a brief, GCA is a global network hub for early years educators across the world. And it's a platform with a mission to bring the experts together to help to upskill all teachers and adults who works with children. And as usual, we focus to bring the best in the world. That's what we believe in, the best and the best practices. And we make it available for our audience and through our network. So I'd like to welcome you again. Today, we have Dr. Ayelet with us. Dr. Ayelet is the founder of VOCA, Voice of the Children Associations. She's a pioneer and recognized expert in the fields of abuse and harassment behavior of young children among themselves. And she has an innovative way of learning that through play. VOCA developed several programs for preventing violence using strategies that build emotional skills, social skills, and helping children actually to learn a new language and have a deep understanding of themselves and their rights. Without saying further, Dr. Ayelet also has written a book called Sexual Harassment, Not a Children Games, Preventing Sexual Harassment in the Educational System and in the communities. Dr. Ayelet, she is with us present today. Hi, Doctor.
Hello.
Hi, but we're gonna play a video which is, I think, around 10 minutes, and you can please interact and put your question in the chat. and then we can start engaging directly with Dr. Ayelet. Can we start the video, please, Suhair? Thank you.
On behalf of the Global Child Academy, here in Dr. Ayelet Giladi, a proud partner for Global Child Academy, the founder and the director of VOCA, Voice of Child Association. VOCA was founded in 2009 in order to provide global tools for educators to promote quality, dignity, and mutual respect, to give our young children the tools to prevent all kinds of violence for sustainable future. So actually, VOCA is coming and saying children's life, young children's life matter. And we have to get the tools to start talking with them, to let them understand that they need to be respected and equality among their peers and also outside of schools and kindergarten. And our goal, VOCA's goal, is to empower you as teachers, as educators, to get the tools to do it, to be able to do it with the help of wonderful 3 animals, dolls that were made special for young children, starting from age 5 and on. So welcome to the World Day of Social Justice 2022. We choose to celebrate this important day by emphasizing the early child education, the young children, the teachers, the health teachers, social workers, their parents, and for the policymakers to celebrate awareness of social justice among our very young children, our precious ones, our future. This day takes a major place in young children's life who are not only very young, they do have the right to feel respected, to be heard, to hear their voices, to share with us their emotions, their wonderful thinking, and only because they are there with us here, see and feel everything. These past 2 years were very hard and enough for our pressure. We are all going through a challenging years with ourselves and with family and work. Globally, young children became transparent, harassed, abused, neglected in their houses or outside of it, repressed and excluded. But a lot of aggressive is referring toward them only because we have epidemic in our lives. Yes, we are in a very difficult times now, but let us be honest. Did we ever teach our young children from age 3 what is their human rights are? Did we introduce respect for them? Dignity or equality? Did we ever consider that? VOCA Taking a Stand program calling you to get the tools for young children to invest in these values and how they are empowered, how they can feel safe and secure, how amazingly they understand their rights as young people in society to feel important and valued. And now in crises like that, we have a big opportunity to change young people's lives, to make social justice with them, to make them feel empowered, honored, in good mental health as well. In this webinar, I would like to be the ambassador for those very young children who experience physical, emotional, and sexual violence from their peers and from adults at home, in the neighborhood, in kindergarten and schools, and over the social media. The Me Too campaign told us that it took many years for those brave women to come out loud with the notion that women are getting harassed wherever they are from different reasons. Let us think when this kind of behavior really starts. After studying and researching young children's play, it found that 1 of every 5 young children from age 5 gay is with nature of sexual harassment, leading to abuse behavior in no time. The children, as well as teachers and parents, think it is another form to play. It is a play until a point that involves body private parts. Then it's crossing the line. At this point, it's too late. It was too late for all the women who have been harassed and for all those harassers who harassed. They were not taught after curiosity age 5, it is wrong that we need to respect our bodies and others. And it became another norm of behavior that grows with the age until the point that we can't continue anymore. Unfortunately, those young children who have been involved with sexual harassment or abuse from adults or their friends are in trauma and need urgent treatment. And our job here now with taking a STEM program is to teach them that they don't deserve it, that they can and need to stop it. We can save a lot of mental pain and money. $1 of prevention saves us $7 for treatment with the right prevention work in our classes. Prevention work from violence and especially sexual violence at early age is so needed also as a form of social justice. This early age matters because we are teaching the children from right and wrong on their body while interaction with their peers as well as with adults who are coming to harm them. In this way, we empower the children and teach them that their voices matter for their safety and well-being. You're probably asking yourself how we can talk about those kinds of subjects with young children. Nobody talked with us when we were young, and we have no tools. And you're right about it. It is important to train for prevention work before you're coming into the class. And when you will get your class talking about those hard topics, it will become one of the most important things you will teach your students as a life-saving, as human rights. Small human beings who are entitled to feel respect and equal as adults. And from experience, they will take these skills you are teaching them with them for a long time. Believe me, one of WACA facilitators reported that she met one of the girls who were participating, taking a STEM program in her primary school. She was then 8 years old. And after 10 years, she reported that the tools she got helped her when she joined the military and been attacked and knew what to do and how to get out of it. In another time, a 5-year-old reported to her kindergarten teacher while she was teaching, taking a STEM in her class, that her 9-year-old half-brother tried to sexually abuse her, and she ran to the room until her mother came back home. I rest my case here. This is one of many evidence for learning at early age social justice. Sexual harassment and abuse happen to young girls as well as for boys. They do not report it. We think they are playing. Actually, they are thinking they are playing as well. This awareness work is not hard to do. It is a rewarding one. The work reminds us very fast why we choose to be educators. I'm going to share with you some about taking a stand, and we will also have some small taste of how we're going to do it. Young children enjoy taking a STEM programs on the scale of social justice, values, and prevention kinds of violence with the help of animal friends, respect the turtle, dignity the snail, and equality the frog. We will have 8 online digital blended meetings with 2-dimension cartoons taken into the classes and at creating safe environment to the children to discuss these issues and empower and improve their sense of safety as well-being. We will use interactive stories, fun activities, the respect cheering, a rap style, and dances, learning from you a new language for critical thinking, the obligation of reporting incidents of violence, good versus bad touching, good versus bad speech, abuse or neglect, and at the end, positive conflict resolution and personal safety. So how are we going to do it? So we will have 3 main values of respect, dignity, and equality. And respect will say that we need to treat us and everyone with care. At the moment that the child will respect his body, others will respect him. And this is what we're going to teach him. We will talk about dignity, how important it is to be proud of who we are and what we're doing. And when we are respecting ourselves and we're respecting others will give us the feeling that we will have that feeling that we're proud of who we are and what we do. And at the end, we will talk about equality, and equality will help us to understand that we all deserve the same rights. It doesn't matter if I'm small or big, or if I'm white or black, and everybody is actually equal, and they have equal rights. And when we're talking about the Social Justice Day, this is exactly what we want to have. to teach the children that with no respect, we have and no equality, we will have violence, and this is something that we would like to prevent. So I'm going to share with you a small piece of taking a stand program, and this is actually example of a two-dimension slide that you can take into the classes and work with the children and get to, they will meet respect, dignity, and equality. They will start to call them by their names according to the cartoons, according to the animals. You'll be able also to create the animals by yourself if you want to have them play with it. And I would like to ask you to join us and to see just a small example of how we're doing it. Enjoy.
Hi again, kids. Remember me? Respect the turtle. I'm one of the helpers in a Taking a Stand program. I'm so happy to be here because I love spending time with kids. Today, I want to introduce to you two very special friends, Dignity the snail and Equality the frog. Oh, there you are. Dignity, say hi, kids. Can everybody say hi to Dignity? Can you say hi to Equality? Do you know what the words respect, dignity, and equality mean? Well, that's the first thing that dignity, equality, and I respect will help your teacher explain. You see, we have to know about respect, dignity, and equality so that all the kids in this room can get along better. Let's talk about each one of them separately. Does anybody here know what respect means?
Being nice to each other. Respect.
Those are very good answers. Let me tell you how I learned the meaning of respect in the best possible way. Respect means treating ourselves and others as special. Respect means caring about others' ideas and feelings, their body, their clothes, and even trees, plants, and animals. The planet. We have to respect others with our actions and words. So I always say that respect is our way to tell ourselves and others we care. Just look at me. My shell respects me.
So this is only one example of how we're going to do, and we're starting with respect. This is the main value that we want to live in the program. And it's going to be a new language that you're bringing into the class. And with that practical, you're teaching your children, you will start thinking about respect, dignity, and equality in almost everything that you're doing in your routine day. And also the children will start thinking like that and talking like that. For example, if they're both going to be on the recess and they'll be on the slide and they will agree between themselves that one of them is going to take the slide and the other one will get to his turn. And it's not happening. So one of the children came into the kindergarten teacher and said, he didn't treat me with respect and he didn't give me my turn. So it's actually a new language that we're bringing you, that we're teaching you to bring into the class. And by the middle of the program, after they're having that trust and they have this new language, you can start talking about also about sexual harassment as a violence form and how they can protect themselves and build a safety program. And by that, you are showing them how their voice matters, even though they're young, only young children. So once we are the education professionals are aware of many levels in which violence and sexual harassment operates, the children will be empowered themselves, and you will empower yourself and your students. You will empower yourself as a parent, as a woman in society, and also as an educator, and also your students to promote beliefs, attitudes, and positive behaviors towards their peers and around in the surrounding them. It's not an easy subject for you, but I want you to be yourself. You need to get the training, think about it, think how you're going to bring it to the class. You can be flexible with the activities. You can decide to make it longer or shorter, but be flexible and do it the way you would like it so you can enjoy from it. Once you enjoy from it and you believe in it, the children will buy it also. The children will love it, will take it with them as well. And the last thing that I would like to suggest is have fun, enjoy it, because it's a serious matter, but you need to enjoy from that process. And at the end, you will say, this is really what I needed and what was missing my curriculum. And now I'm going to do it from the beginning till the end of school. And I would also urge you to involve the parents and teach them, and also share with them what you're going to be, what's the new language that you're bringing into the class, and try to practice also that with the parents. That will give you the whole picture, and this is the right prevention work. And we will have time for questions and answers, and I'm really looking forward for you to join me and go back with it. It is important, and a happy Social Justice Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ayelet. I know that was recorded. That was amazing. And I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure maybe the audience has too. But the thing is that what I find unique about your program is usually, I used to train child protections. I also trained with the Scottish Police. And we came from it from a perspective of child rights. What I see here is the next elevation. You talk about, social justice. It's a higher things. It became something, not the bare minimum. We usually train the bare minimum, a survivor, but you're saying here, take a stand. It's something, about dignity. You are implementing really a fundamental values that stays, for generation, and it is generating justice. So could you elaborate, Dr. Ayelet, how is this program is innovative from your perspective?
Well, that's a good introduction for the work that we're doing. And the innovation part is that we started with early age. So we start talking with children about values, about things that are important for them from an early age, from age 5. Nobody's talking to them at that age on those subjects. I wonder if we're all doing enough talking with the older ones. So the innovation here in that program is that we're actually coming and bringing it to the whole class. We're not pointing on any child, on any particular behavior that we had. We're talking about how we can take it, how we can get along, how we need to take a stand. And once we are doing it with our peers in class, it will be easier for us to stand for ourselves when we'll be in a situation, not even in the class, outside of the class. We will remember what we learned with our friends and how we have the right to defend ourselves. And this is actually the innovation of everything, is not only the early age, but also bringing the tools to let the child knows he can protect himself in any environment that he is in, inside or outside. And when we're talking about online, also they will learn what is right and wrong when they'll come into accidents of abuse or harassment. And this is really important. Now all our children are exposed to online in one way or another.
Wow, very impressive, Doctor. So in that perspective, when a child, you talk about your presentation, that when a child up to 5 years, they are curious, they don't know what is right and wrong, and just part of their exploration. But somehow after sometimes a wrong behavior, this could lead to something, crossing the line, and could be some form of abuse. So how can you really, in that early stage, you introduce that concept to the children without, creating uncomfort or unease to the parents? Because again, the parents also, they might feel uncomfortable talking to their children, maybe, or maybe they don't feel you as a teacher or a caregiver to talk about the child, such sensitive topics. So how you tackle that in your program?
The parents issue is really important, because now what we see is parents are more and more asking the educational frameworks to start talking with the children about it, because they don't know how to talk about it. All of the parents are really aware that children are exposed to many forms of abuse and exploration in the web or outside of it, especially after Corona time, when they were out. They were not always supervised. They would not be able to come and share with the kindergarten or with the teacher what's happening to them, and maybe the parents were too much engaged with. So this is really the right time for the educational people to get the the training and to start working with the children. And I would recommend also to share part of it with the parents, to create a triangle that we're talking about: parents, children, and educators as well. And the approach is not a hard one, because we are talking about values, about core values that every house in every place all over the world would like the children to have and to carry out with them in their future. So we're talking about respect, dignity, and equality. And just for example, if we will take the respect value, respect will talk about how do we respect our body? When are we respecting it? And sometimes we're doing such a hard work asking the children to brush their teeth or to cut their nails or to wash their hair. And when we're talking about respect, we're telling them while you're doing those kinds of things, you are respecting your body, that your body will be clean, that you will feel respected. And by that, you are giving them the tools to understand what is it respect on their body. And then this next step will be, how do we respect our body when we are in danger, when someone is coming too much near to my body, and what do I do? Why? And I deserve to feel safe, and what do I do with it? So we're giving the parents tools even to do the routine actions with the children, with a logic, I call it a new language that we're bringing to them. And by that, we're earning a lot of benefits also around it.
Very
so the
impressive.
parents are major, sorry, the
Yeah, go
parents
ahead.
are major, they have a major role in that, but the educators should lead it and give those tools or this new language to the parents as well, to start thinking and talking with the children about it.
So you need to get the consent. I see some comment here. Do you need to get the consent from the parents to do such training, or this training is just general? This teaching for children, this tools, is it general, or you need a consent? Because
Well, that's a very good question.
it's actually from one of the audience, Alan.
Hi, Ellen. That's a very good question and a very important one. So we will, of course, at the beginning of the year, if we were deciding, or whenever every step that we will decide to start taking a STEM program in our class, we will have to notify the kindergarten manager or the kindergarten teacher or the school principal. Will have to notify the parents to tell them that we're starting this, taking a STEM program, and what is the benefit of it, and why is it important. We will need to get their consent in anything else that we're going to be teaching with the children. And once we have the
I'm not
set of everybody, we will.
Dr. Ayelet, I think your line is cutting. I'm not sure. Can you hear us? If you hear us, yeah, just give it a moment. Maybe we need to connect.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you back. Yes, yes,
Okay.
It happens. There was a delay. Could you repeat the last part, please?
Yes, of course. So I'm saying that the parents are having a major role here, but we have to join them to the mission that we're starting to do. They will understand the benefits of it. And I must tell you that we have not a lot of school areas that parents are also getting another part for them in the evening, after we were talking with the children in the morning, so they will get the language and they will know what their children are exposed to. Sometimes we're giving activities to the parents to do with the children. So the parents are in one package with the educator for the success of taking a STEM.
Amazing. Dr. Ayelet, tell me something about the language, because this is a global issue. It's not a local issue. And it is sensitive everywhere in the world, regardless what's your background, your cultures, your beliefs. It's a global issue. And my question to you, from your experience, and you wrote a book and you did a lot of research and you teach in a diverse communities, how is the language and developing the language, the same language for children to protect themselves and do it? Could you elaborate a little bit about that?
Well, the language is the same language. You know, we are doing the training in English, but it can be taken to another language. The trainer can take the what we're talking about and just give it to the children in their language.
Mhm.
In terms of if it's what is the language of the country, but the language of the program is a universal one. When we're talking about values, it's values everywhere, everywhere in Africa, in Australia, in Europe. The values are important for us as human beings, especially when we're talking about social justice and how important it is to start at early age.
Wow. Yeah, so regardless of the language, the principles is the same.
It is. It's a worldwide, and it's a beneficial one. You will enjoy from working with the children, and you will get from them the same language that you're teaching them, and that will be your reward, your satisfaction. And as I said, this will bring you to why you choose to be an educator in your country.
Wow. Amazing. Okay. There's a question from the audience, and I have another question here to ask you, Doctora, before we come to the end. So there's, if can you see the chat, Doctor? Can you comment?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. When we are talking about, okay, so when we're talking about sexual harassment, that will be one major stop to prevent from the accident to be abused. And that's a very, very critical point. So sometimes we see the children while they're playing, they're actually think they're playing. They don't know this is not a play because they're crossing the line. And then the behavior change from harassment to abuse. And that's a severe one, and the trauma is hard. So our job is to put a spotlight on their play, acting, behaving, and to give them boundaries, what is right and wrong when we are playing also with each other.
Interesting. Yeah. I was also taken by the idea, Doctor, that the child who was the 5 years old, after taking the course, she was able to protect herself when she recognized that was not normal and from that was happening from her stepfather, I think you mentioned.
Yes.
And she ran to the room and locked it. I mean, this is a real story, and it's happening like a lot. But the tools now, the things that the tools you're providing through your empowering the teachers and the adults through a very, I saw the turtle and the characters that you have created. You innovated that to resonate with the children, to protect themselves. It's really work. The issue with the other approach, it might not work. It might be too late for the child to recognize that they've been abused, because they don't have a definition of abuse. It's just not clear. They think, as you said, maybe they're playing. I remember a case for a girl who's been abused until she's 12 or 14 years old. She said she's obligated to do that. She thought, her thinking system, that she is obligated to participate in that abuse. And as everyone is in the child protection field, that the child who's been abused, they think they are the guilty. It is their mistakes. It is something that they have. So you reversed all of these and trying to empower them in the early stages. That was really amazing. Can you comment on that?
Yes, I think the power of the group is so important, because once we are talking about those kinds of behavior, those children who've been abused or are supposed to abuse or to attack will start listening to their peers talking about the way that it's a wrong behavior and what we should do and what we should not do. And that's empowered any child in any situation he is on. Either he was abused, he will know now that what he has been through is wrong. And in a lot of cases, they will come and talk about it with the educators. So the educators will be able to start helping them, because they're holding it a lot of time because they're ashamed or because they think it's their fault, as you suggested in your question. So the power here is that we're talking with all the children, with everybody, with not labeling anyone. Let them understand that what's happening in the afternoon or in the evening at home is wrong, and they have someone to tell. They have their VOCA is the voice of child. We will encourage them to hear to make people hear what they have to hear. And when we will build a safety program, they will learn who to go until someone will hear them, not let it go. And this is the power of the program, because children are empowering themselves and they know what is right and wrong on their bodies.
Wow, amazing. Dr. Luther King once said, injustice for someone or somewhere, it's a threat, injustice everywhere, you know. And that's why it's a global issue. If this starts rising somewhere and we don't really increase the justice, it will have an impact somewhere else in the world. And my question to you, Doctor, and I will maybe close with that because we have running out of time now. Why you link the child protection from your perspective to the social justice? Just could you elaborate a little bit?
It's very obvious. One, the child deserves to be safe, and he needs to feel it on the earliest stage of his life. While he will feel that he's safe, his development stage, his health, his schooling performance, his place in society will be better. So once we're empowering young children to have their rights, even though they're young, I'm always saying you are young, but you've got the rights of an adult. So even though if you're right, you need to get all the justice that you can get from the word to be a grown adult, responsible one that can contribute to our society. And that's a wonderful way to educate our global world to a better future.
Amazing, well said. Thank you very much. And I hear we are on time now, 40, and I'd like to address if there's any quick question from the audience, or we try to close now. And I encourage, of course, the audience to look more into our platform and look at the courses available there. I think we have a special promotion going on for the attendance in the webinars. But anyway, all details you will find it in the webinar and in the links. I think there's a link in the chat.
And welcome everybody to join us.
There is a final question, Doctor, if you can see it from Tabila. Yeah. Yeah, the guidelines. Ask about the guidelines for teachers.
Yes, we will have the guidelines. Everything will be clear. We're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss some situations and how we deal with it. You're not going to be alone. I'm going to be with you during the whole training session live and with questions and answers. So if you will have also to practice a little bit. So when you'll get to the field, you will know exactly what you're doing in each stage, and we will know to refer if it was harassment or abuse in what you're doing with it. So I highly recommend it to join us and to start talking about early childhood social justice.
So Doctor, just to close, the course is a sequence, or it's just one course and they finish? Is it the sequence they built?
Well, it's for a certain age, it's 8 meetings, weekly meetings that we're going to meet each other and we're going to talk, and you're going to get some materials that you can bring into the cartoons you will bring into your class, and you can take them. But from one meeting to another, we will be able to join after the training, and you can ask questions. I can give you headlines and sometimes send you with another mission if you're not sure to participate and to come with the observations, and we can talk about it. But I'm promising you, I'm going to talk with you with the new language. We're not doing the old language. We will involve respect, dignity, and equality in it. So you will get the language to bring it to the class.
Thank you, Dr. Ayelet. Thank you very much. That was very, very, very nice. I know I've been meeting with you a couple of times. We've done a couple of meetings and discussions, and I'm always excited to hear about it more and more, because I think what you're trying to do here is something really, I mean, all of our work is very important, but this is really safety and dignity and social justice. I mean, very dear to our hearts, and it is a global thing, and it is in the core. It's what we are doing. I'd like to thank you very much for your participation, and thank you for our audience. Thank you for GCA team, and we hope to see you in our next webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Kashmiri. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you for everybody.